Hello, Algebra 1. I'm just going to summarize our Zoom meeting from this morning. I forgot to hit play, or excuse me, record. So I'm just going to use this to summarize what we talked about. The first question students had was from Lesson 3, Activity 3.2. And you were creating a diagram for what the steps of that sequence using that expression would look like. And there was just some confusion in the video. What they said was step 1 actually ended up being what would really be step 2, and what was step 2 would actually end up being step 3. So this is how it would end up looking like for the correct response there. And the big thing is that when n is being squared, you can actually think of a square. And so for step 2, 2 squared, well, that's 4. That means a square that's 2 by 2. And then minus 1 just means that 1 square is missing. So that's what I was trying to show here. Step 3, 3 squared means a square that's 3 by 3. And then there's 1 step missing because you're subtracting 1. So it would be right there. We did talk about, I could show these 8 squares in different ways. I could show them just in a line of 8. But then it's not getting at the idea that we're squaring a number and creating a square. Then the other thing we talked about was in Lesson 3, Activity 3.1. And this one was a little bit different. You were making expressions for all these things. It looked like everyone was fine with if this length of the square was 4. Looks like we were fine if the length was x. Then when we got to 4x, we had some questions on that. So let me just get rid of this right now. So if the length of these sides of the square are 4x, let's see, I don't want to do it in there. 4x and 4x. I know to find area, I'm taking length times width. And so that gets us 4x times 4x. And what we're showing down here was that 4x times 4x would be 16x squared. I'm multiplying those 4's and I'm multiplying those x's to get 16x squared. There are also some questions with how the parentheses work with this. So right here, when I'm taking 4x times 4x, that's really taking 4x in parentheses squared. And what that means is 4x times 4x. And when I multiply that out, I have 16x squared. Notice that there's no more parentheses here. And that's because I've already taken 4x times 4x. When I do that, I get 16x squared. Then the last one, x plus 3, for the side length. That one, you can see up here in my writing, to get your area of the big square in figure A, I'm just going to do x plus 3 times x plus 3. And I'm just going to write it like this. X plus 3 in parentheses squared. We're going to talk more about how to multiply that out later. That's just how you can write it right now. Then in B, it would be that square minus 1. And then in C, you have 2 of those squares that have an area of x plus 3 squared. So 2x plus 3 squared, or 2 times x plus 3 in parentheses squared. And then add on that 1 on the end. Okay, those were the main things that we talked about in our Zoom meeting. Those are the main questions you guys had. I hope you're all taking care of yourselves. It sounds like you guys are doing different things to kind of keep your sanity during this crazy time. Get outside, get some fresh air, play games with family, all that stuff. So, do some fun things for yourselves. Oh, bake. That was one thing that came up, learning how to bake. So take care, and I will hopefully see you soon.